Caesar de Bello Gallico, Book 1, Chapter 6 and 7. Starting my 5-minute countdown, and then we'll hit another 5 minutes. All right, so always start with the verb errant. Errant. There were, omnio, entirely, duo itinere, two routes. Ablative means phrase, by which route, posent, they were able, exire, to go, ablative separation phrase, domo, from home. One route understood through the Sequani. Difficult, narrow, and difficult between Mount Ura and the river Rhodanus, by which ablative means phrase scarcely could singular carts one at a time, ducerentur, be led. So it's kind of a relative clause of a complement clause there. However, the very high mountain impedibant was impending. It was hanging over them. Ut, with the result that very few people, posent, could be able, prohibere, to prohibit them. Facile, adverb, easily. The other route understood is through our province. By far easier and more speedy, comparative adverbs. On account of which, right? Because between the territory of the Helvetii and this new tribe, the Allobroges, who recently had been pacified by the Romans. He'd been conquered by the Romans. Pacified means we killed everybody who wanted to fight and enslaved the rest. So they weren't exactly, necessarily the Roman friends. Between which the Rhodanus River flows, and it refers to the Rhodanus, is crossed by a ford, in other words, shallow, so you could walk across, ablative place phrase, in not a few locations. Couldn't be a video without me coughing. All right, here we go. Now, the extremum oppidum, the farthest town of the Allobroges, is also Ganava. And it's also nearest Prux Finibus, dative reference to the territories Helvetiorum of the Helvetii. Out of that town, Ganava, a pond stretches, a bridge stretches to the Helvetii. So, hey, you got a fast way to go then. So let's figure out your verb form. Existababat. They were considering that, indirect statement clause, they say, could persuade the Allobroges because not yet were they wident or seeming in a good mind, with a good mind toward the Roman people, right? Because they just got their butts kicked. Or that the Helvetii could force them by force, indirect command, to paterentor, open up their territories for them to cross through there, would allow them to cross through their territories. All right, ready? They say a day for, with all things having been comparatis, ablative absolute clause, for the setting out. They say a day, on which day they would convene at the banks of the river Rhodanus. Everybody would. Okay, so now it gets fun. That day was the 5th day before the calends of April in the consulship of Lucius Piso and Aulus Gabinius. So Caesar is now governor of the province. He just got appointed a governor in January, but he ain't there. He's busy. When it had been announced to Caesar, this is a cum clause indicating when, that, namely, what was announced? Indirect statement clause, that they were trying to make a iter journey per provinciam nostrum through our province, What does he do? What does Caesar do when he hears this? He, Matarat, he speeds, okay, 5 more minutes. He speeds to set out, infinitive, ab urbe, from the city, Rome, and he's able, and wait a second, no, not that. He contendits, he hurries into farther Gaul by as many journeys as he is able, right? As quickly as possible. He's really moving fast. And he pervenit, he arrives ad Ganabum. Okay, here's his problem. He orders, object phrase, a number, militum, of soldiers. What number? As great a number, notice qua maximum, great a number of soldiers as is possible, dative indirect object, to the whole province. For there was, at that time, omnio, in Gaul, only what? One legion in farther Gaul. This is across the street. And he orders, accusative, the bridge, qui erat, which was at Ganava, notice not to, but at, because it's a stotion, to be cut down. And when the Helveti facti sunt are made certiores, more certain or informed, de adventu eus, about his arrival, they mittunt, send legatos, ambassadors ad eum, namely appositional, the most noble ambassadors of the city, of which legation, of which embassy, Namius and Verocletius were holding the principem locum, the chief position. Who, those guys who, subjunctive, would tell that indirect statement clause, it is sibi, dative of reference for them, in animo, right, in mind, sine ulo maleficio, without any bad ideas, to facere and iter, to make a journey, per provincium, through Caesar's province, on account of which they have no other way to get there. All right, let's keep going. You hear Bob in the background. Bob's happy. They were having no other way. All right, let's keep on going. Oh my goodness. So let's keep on going. I got to go. I got Loki in my lap. I got Bob going here, and the translation's still going. Here we go. They ask that, rogare, it be permitted, that it be permitted to them, Sibi, to do it, right, by his willingness. However, Caesar, quod denebat, because he was holding memoria, in memory, that Lucius Cassius, the consul, had been killed, prior to an essay, and it's an indirect statement clause, and his army, accusative subject phrase, had been beaten up by the Helveti, ab Helvetis, and Misum had been set under the yoke. Look at that. He was non-putabat. He wasn't thinking that it concedendum, that it must needs be conceded, that you don't let him go. Nor existamabat, was he thinking that homines, men, indirect statement clause, subject phrase, right? Accusative. With an unfriendly mind, with the ablative absolute clause, ease of faciendi, with the ease of making journey, right? Per provincium, through the province, that they would temptaturos, that they would hold themselves back, ab inuria, from injury, and from bad deeds. What does that mean? Oh, they're gonna stir up some stuff when they go through your hallways. However, ut cause of purpose, right? So that a spatium, a time, space of time, posset would be able to intercedere, to intercede, because, right, he doesn't have the soldiers, while the soldiers whom he had imperavetat, he had ordered, were coming together, right? So this is a doom clause. he responds, legatis to the legates, that a diem, a day, that he say, would sumptorum, would use a day for deliberating. So, si velent quid, if they want anything. Quid gets shortened from aliquid to quid after si or nay. If they want anything, they would they would return at the Ides of April, about 2 weeks. Okay, so close of that one. I'll talk to this later, but guess what happens? All the soldier boys come, not a lot. Caesar then builds up these fortifications that they can't get by, and they come back, and he's got his armies, more armies, not, he's still outnumbered, but he's got more armies. He's got fortifications. They say, can we cross? And he says, no. And then they commence the rest of the fun time, which you can read about, which is hilarious. All right, that was 11 minutes. That's no good. So enjoy your time, and I'll be looking forward to seeing your previews and prep.